Yo, what is up, Red students? Welcome to another episode of Red TV. And man, we have a lot in store for you today. As you can see, I'm just very interesting today. But we also have special guest Colin Robinson, the Next Gen Director at the Mount Nebo campus. Man, we got a lot of fun in store, so make sure you stay tuned to this episode of Red TV.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Red TV. We got our special guest here this week. We have Colin.
What's up, guys?
Himself. Colin, we love having you here, representing Mount Nebo strong.
Yes.
So if you're from Mount Nebo, do us a favor. You can see our chat here up. Give a little love for Colin. Put like hashtag Mount Nebo or hashtag what do you want?
Hashtag Walmart, that'd be great.
Hashtag Walmart because you love
Walmart.
Like, what do you love about Walmart? Is it their sales?
No,
is it their clothing?
Thing about Walmart, there's that
good?
one aisle that you go to where like anything is on sale. You don't know what's going to be there. You know it's going to be something. something and
Yes.
you go there and you're like, it's some random stuffed animal.
Like, yeah, it could be like a puzzle
I've got a
or like a
spaceship.
garden tool
Yeah, exactly.
or like, like dog food. That's true. That is a good.
Dog food.
You never been there? I've
Is
seen
that,
dog
is
food
that
there.
like, man, late at night dog food? That's what I'm going for.
Purina Cat Chow. Is it Purina? Is that the brand? That's not even a brand.
This is
is
some of
it?
the commercials. Is that what the Meow 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 song?
Purina? That's not. No, what's the name?
I think
Someone look up the name and tell me
we
what
have
it
someone
is.
else to go to, right?
Yeah, we shouldn't be talking about this here, but hey, welcome to an episode of Red TV. It's great to have you. I'm Gil. This is Colin, as we said. But if you haven't been with us in a while, we have something that we like to try to keep you up to date with, and that's all the trendy things, all the funny things, all the interesting things that have happened around the world. And so this week we have that segment for you, and we call it our weekly update.
Again, viewers, this week has been an eventful one, like all have been lately. Let's start in the good down under with a hotel in Australia that has banned emus from its campus because an incident where they learned to climb the stairs. Sources close to the owner of the hotel have stated it wasn't them climbing the stairs that scared us, it was that they learned to do it themselves. Be sure to be on the lookout for our new bird overlords climbing the stairs near you. In other news, in Seoul, South Korea, they have started to implement robots in restaurants to replace waiters and waitresses. People have been actually rating these robotic workers higher than all other human workers in the past 3 years. I feel like this has been in the works for some time now. Just look to K-pop stars. No man's skin could be that perfect. I'm strangely envious. Lastly, we have a story developing in New Jersey where 150 people have called into the local police station saying that they saw an actual UFO, but turned out just to be a Goodyear blimp flying overhead. I guess the story is apparently 150 New Jersey citizens have never seen a blimp before. Back to you guys.
Wow. So fun fact, I actually don't know what an emu is. Emu?
Is that
Emu?
that sounds like something you ride. Like that sounds like next level up from a hoverboard.
Like, oh, I thought you meant like into battle, like Chronicles of Narnia style. You know what I mean? Like you ride they rode horses and like
ride a hoverboard into
rhinos.
battle?
I mean, I guess.
That sounds like the next like whatever war. Like we got our hoverboards, let's go.
Do you have like laser guns and you're just pew pew pew? It's a fantastic
perfect.
thing. Yeah. So if any bird experts, what are those called? If someone studies birds?
Birdologist, I believe.
Birdologists. There's any birdologists out there? If
we
you could tell
need
us,
you.
emu is kind of like an ostrich.
Yeah.
Does anyone know?
I'm sure you've learned this on Zoom classes, but just haven't. Maybe you paid attention. I didn't.
No one actually seems to know.
I love that. Hey,
Someone
that's
put
what I needed.
Hashtag don't ride the emu. Emu?
What? Callie's letting us know she goes to school.
To emu?
On an emu.
On an emu? Wait, you go to school there? Where's there?
Yeah, I don't
know
is
where
that the
there
correct
is.
there she meant? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, besides the point, we have a fun game for you this week with some
Yes.
students here. We have, if you haven't been paying attention, we actually have the annual, it's like the 87th annual Red Paper Football League tournament.
I look forward to this every year.
Check out
Yeah.
check out our finalists.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the RPFL Championships. Oh my goodness, what an amazing night this is.
What a day it is, Caleb.
Oh,
I've been
what an
looking forward
amazing
to
night.
this for quite a while.
Oh yeah, and for our new viewers, if you don't know what this is, the RPFL is the Red Paper Football League.
Yep.
Man, this is one of the most esteemed football flicking associations all in
It's
the
a
world.
classic American sport, basically the best sport in the entire
Oh
world.
yeah, the best sport. I'm going to be your main caster, Caleb, and this is the RPFL head analyst, Sean
Thank you.
Braithwaite. Sean, how are you feeling today?
Oh, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. You know, we have some of the best around
Oh, yeah.
competing tonight for the championship. They have earned their spot, Caleb,
Oh, yeah.
and they're ready to throw some paper football.
Oh yeah, you ready to see some people flick some paper?
Yes,
You
sir.
ready to see some fingers hit the?
That's
I can't
right.
think of another alliteration
Yep.
for paper, but hey, we're gonna get right into this. We have our two finalists who are Corbin Jacobs
Yes,
and also
sir.
Connor Shim, and they're amazing flickers.
Like I said, two of the best around, and let's see what they have tonight.
We'll send it over to them.
All right, welcome to the Red Paper Football League. We're going with standard rules, as you guys should already know, but I want a clean, fair match. And you know what? Let's start with Connor.
All right, let's just say thank you so
Why
much
don't you
to
guys- why don't you guys
our
shake it?
amazing official
Make it clean, make it
Hoj.
clean and safe.
He is trained for many years for this. He is beautiful in all of this. Okay, let's see
That's
this
true.
first flick.
The first flick from Connor. I saw him warming up today.
Oh, just a little bit of a flub.
Just a little bit
Hey,
of
they're
flub.
getting warmed up.
That's right.
Now,
That's
you are
right.
an ex-pro. Talk to me about what your strategy is in all of
It's
this.
all about, went right past.
Oh,
no
so
good.
sad.
Hoj gets the call. It's all about the technique.
good.
Caleb.
I'm the
You
one
really
making
want to
the
get
calls
that
here,
nice
Corbin.
flick, that perfect position
Yeah.
on the paper. Also, I should mention, tonight's
Oh,
paper
another
is
flub.
Dunder Mifflin. So, man, it should fly.
It should fly. That's true. All right, Corbin's up. Oh, that's a goal.
That is a goal.
First goal for Corbin.
First one for
All right,
Corbin.
let's see if Connor can make a comeback.
Oh,
he did. Goal.
And Connor
Remember, this is the
returns
first
it.
to 5. Whoever gets 5 field goals first.
Oh, man.
We had a
did you not
flub.
get-
Not a hit. Man, they were hot for a second.
They were.
I wasn't
They
sure
were.
if they were going to carry that momentum. Let's see if
Let's
Connor
see.
can carry it in. No, he can't.
Connor, no. They're hitting a dry patch now. Let's see if they can break it. Oh, that's
we have
another one
hit.
for Corbin. Grab me a paper clip. It's good.
We have a foul.
We don't like e-boy hair here, all right? True.
No, e-boy hair.
No, that was part of the
my
official rules,
goodness.
section C.
Yes. Oh,
Oh,
you hate
man.
to see that. Corbin gets another shot. He flubs it. That's a missed
Wow.
opportunity. That was a chance
Really
for a power
is.
play right there.
Really is. Let's see.
Oh, so close. He
Connor.
had the right air.
Yeah, he did. Just
But not the
went off a
distance.
bit. I
We
think
don't
the
like
win.
lanky arms. You're overreaching the table.
No,
No,
lanky
sir.
arms.
No
sir.
winky arms. Man, I can't believe he got away with that the last few times.
I know, that's what I'm saying, man. This is some good officiation
This
here
is. This is.
from Jonathan Leake, otherwise known as Hoj, the best ref in the world
Widely
for
respected.
RPFL. Widely respected.
Oh, he gets another no good call. Let's see, Connor.
It's only 2-1
He goes
right
for
now.
the flick.
Not enough.
This is getting a little sad. I think we
It
need
might be that e-boy hair
it's
right
that
in his
e-boy
face.
hair. That's what it's doing.
Oh, it's
got a
another
goal.
one for our
That's
Corbin.
3-1.
Corbin has thus taken the victory.
That's
Congrats.
That
Why don't
is
you
it.
that
shake?
is the game. He is the winner
you have anything you'd like
of
to
the
say to the crowd?
championship.
Oh my goodness. What a beautiful game right there. Man, that was just absolutely
Well,
stunning.
That
Yeah.
thus concludes our Red Paper Football playoff series. Corbin is the champion. Connor, you've lost again on Red TV.
Again.
What a bummer.
Nah, dude. I won last time.
One last time,
just
whatever.
wanna say
All right. Why don't we
last
send it
time.
right back upstairs?
Well,
to what we're going to be doing next.
We appreciate Hoj keeping the facts straight.
Thank you so much to our
Yep.
official Hoj. Man, what an amazing match we just had.
That was
That was
amazing.
some beautiful paper flicking.
Yeah.
You know, Corbin really brought himself back. Last week, I don't know if you guys remember this, he didn't do too well on the mind game.
really?
He lost to Austin.
Wow.
So this is a good, soul lifter.
Bringing honor to the Jacobs family.
The Jacobs family,
Wow.
all the way out from Canada. They're making their way out here. So we just want to say thank you so much to everyone involved with the
right.
RPFL championships. And we'll see you guys next year.
Actually, I think that was quite the contest. That
We
was.
have to wait a year to watch them play again.
Some people are like, thank God it has to be a year before we watch
Okay,
that again.
yeah,
but
but
here's the thing.
training,
I think
that was-
Corbin won last week, didn't he? I thought he beat Austin 4-1 because it was a best of 7.
Those announcers were interesting. Gentleman is a difficult word to stit out there sometimes too.
Yeah, it is.
It's tricky. Yeah, it's-
But
it's okay.
yeah, so I think Corbin's actually won 2 weeks in a row, which is impressive. So
That's
good
crazy.
job, Team Jacobs. You're doing great.
Yeah.
Proud of you for succeeding where other people have failed.
Oh.
But with that in mind, we're going to go into our discussion for tonight. Again, Colin, I just want to say thanks so much for being here. It's great to have you here. It's great to also have some Mount Nebo representation. Over the past few weeks, we had Deer Lakes. We had last week, and then we had Butler a couple weeks ago. Now we have Mount Nebo. So for some of us who don't attend always or aren't always a part of Red TV, we have 6 different campuses, plus a 7th being kind of our online community that we have as a part of Allison Park Church. And Mount Nebo has been around for 2 years?
2 years, yeah.
2 years now. It's actually 2 years in October, right? You celebrate your little birthday?
Yeah, 2 years, yeah.
Oh, that's cute. Are you going
It's
to do anything
really-
special for it?
We got some stuff. You're gonna have to show up to find out though.
Okay, bet.
That's not because I don't know what's happening.
That's 100%
That's
because he
not what-
doesn't know
that's
what's
not what it
happening.
is.
But that's okay. It's going to be
Something
exciting either way.
happening.
Now, Colin, you're with us here on the first week of a brand new topic. We talked last week about how we believe that God has anointed Gen Z for kind of such a time as this. But we're going to talk now over the next couple weeks about a different concept that's actually inspired mostly by Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Have you ever watched that? Did you watch that growing up?
Come on. Yeah, we were talking about this. We were gonna get different shoes to put on.
Yeah, we were talking about
the
each
classic.
bit, maybe we would try to tie
Yeah.
a different set of shoes on.
Yeah, that was the classic. He'd always come in, change his shoes. He was the nicest guy.
Yeah, he really was. And he's honestly an icon of Pittsburgh. He's like him. Who's the dude that teaches painting?
Bob Ross?
Bob Ross,
He's
yeah.
from Pittsburgh?
No, I was just saying they're like the same energy but different
Yeah. It's
different
just very-
topics, if that makes sense.
It's like they're giving you a hug, but, they're not.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will take your word for it, yes. But here's what we're talking about specifically with neighbors. Because in our parents' generation, as I drop my phone, in our parents' generation, being a good neighbor was a lot about just who was around you and how you treated those that lived like kind of next door to you in your own neighborhood. But as we've grown as a culture, I think we've seen an interesting trend with millennials and Gen Z, where it's not just those that are physically around us that are our neighbors, it's those who are around us digitally.
Yep.
So if you go on your Instagram, if you go on Facebook, you go on TikTok, they have specifically curated things to you and your interests and your hobbies, as well as like things that maybe aren't connected to your interests or hobbies for you to check out. And because of this, there's a lot of kind of cross-pollination. There's a lot of interactions with different belief systems, different countries, different ideologies, different theologies. And I think a question that we have had to wrestle with now more than ever is who exactly is our neighbor now? Because the rules have kind of changed, right?
Yeah.
Like I know for a lot of Gen Zers specifically, they don't know the names of the people that live beside them.
I don't.
But they can tell you
Yeah.
all 32 people that follow them on TikTok and what their names are and like where they're from. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like they kind of know those neighbors more
Right.
than they know physically. But like in a culture today where we value canceling someone that disagrees with us or has a different belief system, you can go on
Sure.
TikTok and I'm sure in 4 or 5 swipes I can find someone that has a problem with what someone else said.
Sure.
How exactly do you be a good neighbor in the midst of that climate? Is kind of the question that we want to ask. Who is our neighbor and how do we be a good neighbor in the midst of that? So for us to kind of have our talk tonight, we're gonna jump into the Bible, specifically the book of Luke, chapter 10, verses 25 through 37, if you want to read it afterwards. But I'm gonna kind of summarize what happens here. So Jesus was there, he was teaching a bunch of people. It was during the few years that he was in his public ministry. And someone asked the question, like, what are the greatest commandments? And he said, love God and love your neighbor as yourself. And the question that the guy posed back was, who counts as our neighbor? What does what does this mean? And to understand the nature of this question would have been kind of lost, I think, culturally. If you look back in time, you can see that the Jewish people at this point were being oppressed. They were kind of controlled by the Roman Empire, and there was neighboring countries right around them that disagreed with them and what they believed. And so the question that he was asking is like, who is my neighbor? How far does this kind of extend? You say love God and love your neighbor, but like, what does this exactly mean? So Jesus told them this story that I'm going to kind of summarize for you here. And it's this. It's the story of Good Samaritan. Many of you know this if you grew up in kids' church or something like that. But here's what happened in the story. So there's a guy, and he gets mugged, he gets beaten up and left on the side of the road to die. And 2 people walk past this dude and don't help him at all. And you would think, all right, these guys are probably jerks. Like, who wouldn't help a person that's beat up and wounded and hurting and bleeding on the side of the road? But here's what kind of makes this story a little bit more tangible, is that the person who was injured was a Jew. He would have been Jewish in this context. And the people that passed him by were a priest and a Levite. Now, I know these terms don't necessarily mean the most to us right now, but let me just put it maybe in different terms. The person injured on the ground is a Steelers fan, and the 2 people that walk by are a Pirates fan and a Penguins fan. Like, you would think, oh, they're loyal Pittsburghers.
They better, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you would think, like, oh, this is one of your friends. This is one of the people from your culture. You would stop to surely help them in this.
It's Pittsburgh tribe, like.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just bleeding black and gold. But they didn't. They just walked right by them. And I think, to pause the story here for a moment, I think this is sometimes what it feels like. I think in modern culture, religious beliefs aside for a moment, is it feels like it can be a lot of quick finger pointing and everyone jumping against everyone's side. And there's times that I've even thought in my own life, like, man, I thought this person was my neighbor. I thought they would have like had my back here, but they actually ended up not having it, and it left me feeling kind of frustrated. And I know you have a story that's like pretty similar to that.
Oh, yeah, no, we were gonna, I mean, so similar to that, but okay, in college, I gotta give some background to this. In college, like, this was a big deal for me because I was homeschooled growing up. Like, I'd never been like in a classroom setting, whatever. So I met tons of different people that were mostly weird, right? So there was one guy in particular that I remember, he'd always be sitting there like in our dorm lounge. Like, you go in, he's sitting right there, and he would be this guy that would be like looking for problems. Like, anytime we, like, it's Bible school, so we're like, what does this verse mean? And he would always be that guy that'd interject and be like, you're wrong, here's exactly what it means. And I was always like, this guy is so weird. But then but then I had a class with him. Okay, so we have this public speaking class, and it was just terrible the way that it worked, because every single person got like a paper, and they graded whoever was talking. So if somebody else was up there, I had a paper, I was like, you did good in this, you did bad in that, whatever. And that then counted towards your grade, right? So I was like really nervous. I was like trying my best with it. And this guy is in the class with me. Okay. So it just boils me up thinking about it now, just like the annoyance of it, of like why this guy had to do this. But basically, every time I'd give a speech, like they were supposed to be anonymous, he'd be the guy to write his name on there and be like, hey, it's so-and-so, I didn't think you did a good job on this, for no reason. And I mean,
Yeah,
I
just
know,
to be antagonistic.
no, but I know it was for no reason because like, okay, I did exactly what we like tell everybody you should do, right? Like if you have a problem with somebody, go and talk to them. So I did that. I was like, hey man, like I just want to know, was there anything that I like did of like why you just don't like me for whatever reason? He was just like, no, I just don't like you. I think there's a lot of people that like you, and I don't think they should. Like listen, there were people that have a reason to be. I've got a lot of exes that have a reason to be mad at me, but this guy had barely knew it. Like I don't even think he knew my name for most of it, but just was like, yeah, I just don't like you.
Yeah, and it's ironic too because like you're in a Bible college to be a pastor. Like he's in a Bible college to be in ministry.
You would think, right?
You would think like surely you're beating up lying on the side of the road, he'll pick you up.
Yeah.
But he just goes like, and he like keeps walking on.
Yeah, exactly.
And like with that in mind, so with your story there, Colin, like the story that Jesus is telling kind of continues, and it says like, again, picture the Steelers fan laying there on the ground. What Jesus says next is that a Samaritan walks by, and he's actually the man that helps him, takes him to an inn, pays for his hotel bill, pays for his food, like binds up his wounds, gives him medicine, does all that stuff, and does it just out of the goodness of his heart. But like what we missed culturally, like kind of in the context of just saying like Samaritan, if I say that to you, it's like saying where someone's from. Like you can be a Pennsylvanian or Ohioan or Indianian. I don't even know what the other New Yorkian. Like you could just be from another area. But what was specific about this is that Samaritans were considered half-breeds to the Jewish people. So Jewish people were considered pure with the foods that they ate, the rules that they followed, the days that they worshiped, how they dressed, how they spoke, how they acted. And Samaritans were like half Jewish, half whatever other cultures might have been kind of around there. So like it could have been Roman, it could have been Egyptian, there could have been all sorts of things mixed in there. But they didn't have the same beliefs. And the Jewish people looked at the Samaritans and thought, yeah, they're just like, they're not pure. We don't believe what they believe at all. They don't believe what we believe. They're like heretical. Like it was intense. Like, it's like he was a Patriots fan, this Samaritan. You know what I mean? Like Patriots aren't like a good team. If there's any Patriots fans out there, I won't throw shade
pray
here.
for you later.
We will pray for you later. But picture the classic Steelers-Patriots archetype like fight. Steelers really don't like the Patriots organization or what they believe in, but it's the Patriots fan that stopped and helped the Steelers fan when his own city, his own people didn't stop to help him. And then Jesus asks the crowd the question, which one of these was a good neighbor? And the people answered, the people who asked the question answered, the one who treated the guy with mercy. And then Jesus said, go and do likewise. And I think what's within this, that it brings us to kind of the main idea of what it means to be a good neighbor. And that's this, it's that our neighborliness, like how good of a neighbor we are, is measured by how much we love those that are our enemies or those that are different than us. It's very easy for us to look at a world and because someone looks like us or acts like us or dressed like us, for us to agree with them and kind of stand on their side. But when people start to look different or act different or believe different, it's how we treat them in those differences that determines how good of a neighbor that we are. And what Jesus said to them back then is the same for us today. It's the people online that maybe I know it's a dumb term, but cyberbully. Like I know we sometimes that's laughed about, but it is still a real thing. People pick on people. People send make fake accounts and send really crude, harsh things to each other, and then delete the account just because they want to say rude things to each other. But it's the person that picks on you at school. It's the ex-boyfriend who talks crap behind your back. It's the girls that won't let you sit at their lunch table, or the dudes that make fun of you every time you try to play sports and do things with them. Like it's those kind of people. How we love them is what measures our neighborliness, and honestly measures our Christ-likeness. And I know that your story actually takes a pretty drastic turn. Because it's kind of ironic.
No, because it from the first side of that, it almost makes it sound like I'm the guy who's lying on the side of the street, and he needs to turn around and be the good Samaritan. And my senior year, that all switched because at that time, I was the last guy that got added in to be an RA. So I had a whole dorm that I'm in charge of. And I remember I walked into that like dorm, this apartment that I'm like living in, and I remember like walking down the hall and I'm like, oh, this is so cool. And then like I didn't know anybody was living in there at the time, and then I like open up one of the doors and he's sitting in there, and I'm like, oh no. Like he literally, his room's right next to mine. We're in this apartment, and I'm just thinking to myself like, oh, this is gonna be a fun year, because whatever I say, you have to do. Like, at the threat of like, I can just kick you out, basically. And I was determined, though. I was just like, I can either treat this guy as a jerk, because quite honestly, he has been my biggest hater, honestly, for years, like for no reason. And I was just like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna like try my best, even though this guy wants nothing to do with me. And I remember there being like a few specific like late nights whenever we'd be talking, right? I remember one in particular where he started opening up to me, and he started talking to me about like some of the times whenever it would have lined up exactly around the times whenever he's writing on my papers like, you're not good at this or whatever. Mm-hmm. He was telling me about how at those times he tried to commit suicide multiple times.
Yeah.
Like in his dorm room, he had tried. Like he was just in such a deep, dark place and was still like battling through that, and had like never opened up to anybody about it. And like as much as like I wanted to like put myself as the victim, as like I'm the problem, I just need to like get you to like me, or I just need to like whatever, like I really just needed to take time to like listen to this guy, to be there for him, and to just let him know like exactly like what that story of what Jesus like tells what happened, like there was no reason for him to do it. Like there was no reason, like, and I think that's why it says like neighbor instead of like friend, of like, man, like that of exactly that of like loving your neighbors, your enemies, your haters, whatever. Like that's exactly what I tried to do with this guy.
Yeah.
And the turnaround was incredible in what happened in his life.
And the thing that I love the most about your story, Colin, is the idea that like you were given power to then actually affect his life in a significant way, not just peer to peer, but like, and I wouldn't say like boss to, you know, direct report, but like it is a picture of authority and influence. If it's your word versus his, you would be given more favor by the school.
Yeah.
Like you really could have used this as an opportunity to get back at him. Do you know what I mean? But instead thinking like, oh, I'm not gonna like put this out there for the world to see. I'm not gonna like draw attention to this. I'm just gonna listen to him, and I'm gonna get to know him, and I'm gonna love him. And that's what brought about the change.
Yeah.
Like it makes me think like, man, I wonder like if you had abused your power, what would have happened? Do you know what I mean? Or like it's the idea of keeping it like private. It's the idea of like just loving him through that that led to change in his life. And I just actually seriously love that. And so with that kind of story in mind, with that kind of bottom point, we want to give you just a couple practical tips in how you can love your neighbor well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so I think the first one is just, man, if you want to love, you got to listen, and you really got to be like available for people. I mean, those needs and those things, I would have never known that was beneath the surface in that guy's life if I didn't at least try to listen to him. At least because, I mean, the people that like are speaking so much hate to us, we don't realize half the time like what's beneath that, or what's causing that, or what's driving that. And when you take one moment just to listen, even in the stuff that they're saying to you, you can hear the pain, and you can hear that it's like, it's not just that. And whenever you're like actually able to listen to somebody and not just try to react and try to be like, okay, well, you're my enemy, so I'm gonna make sure that I'm giving it right back to you. But whenever you just say like, no, I'm not gonna give you the same thing back, I'm just gonna give you love back. Like that changes everything. When you're just able to listen and really hear it, just be able to say like, I really just want to be able to see you as a person and not as an enemy, see you as a neighbor, see you as somebody that I'm supposed to love and supposed to like really help. Like that changes everything.
Yeah, it really does. And I think a key thing to remember is if someone's doing something mean to you, if someone is acting like your enemy, they're really giving you an invitation to ask the question, what's going on in their life that makes them this way, makes them so angry or makes them so hostile? And then the follow-up question to that, or the follow-up action to that is, what can I do to help?
Right.
Because what will change someone's life is if someone's bullying you, if someone's talking down to you, if someone's spreading lies about you and gossiping to you, the biggest disarmor for that is when you are kind to them and you even help them.
Yeah.
So like, typically, you know, people who are bullies maybe don't have a lot of friends. If you befriend the person who's picking on you or spreading lies or gossiping about you, that is a powerful testimony, not only to them, but to the people around you of what it means to be a Christian, what it means to listen to God. So like, I want to encourage you, if you're in that position or you see that happening, ask yourself the question, what can I do to help this? And then try to do something tangible to help that. Don't just pray for them. You want to pray for them, that's good. But what kind of action can you take? Can you hang out with them at lunch, right? Can you invite them to play video games with you and try to build some sort of friendship? Can you go hang out with them when they're like, alone and not really having anyone to like connect with? Can you do something to connect with them and befriend them to make that difference?
Yeah. It's incredible stuff, honestly.
Yeah. And then the last point we have is just let God kind of do the work in that. So if you're available, if you're listening and you're doing everything you can to make a difference in their lives, like God's going to be able to take care of the rest and run with it. That's kind of the beauty of what God does. Through that kindness, through that, loving your enemy is how God can change some lives. So with that, Colin, will you pray for us here today before we close?
Yeah. God, we're so thankful that as we're talking about the neighbors that we need to reach out to, Lord, we realize that, man, we're your neighbor first, and that you reached out to us. You showed us love whenever we didn't deserve it. We didn't want it, Lord. And so now we want to do the exact same thing that you did for us. And we want to extend love to people that are mean to us, people that we don't think deserve it. But exactly like that story is saying, that the people who might bring us the most pain, Lord, we want to reach out to them with love. So, Lord, help us to do that. Give us the strength to do that. Give us the boldness to be able to reach out and love to so many people who need it right now in our world. Help us with that. In your name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning into Red TV tonight. That's going to be it for us here with the broadcast team. So thank you so much for being here. We're going to be here at next Wednesday, 7 o'clock, and we're going to have Sean with us preaching next week as our guest. So with that, thanks so much for being here, and we'll see you next time.